From 80 degrees to a sharp cool down, we've got major changes coming our way this week. And as the heat surges north, that means some are going to see some thunderstorms. You're not supposed to be at 80 degrees in the February time frame here, but that's going to be the case as we go throughout the next 24 hours. So I've got new timing on that, but behind it, cold air rushes in. Yes, snow is going to be a part of the equation here with new locations along the East Coast that are going to get a lot of snow. The track of that low pressure system is everything. And as that moves through, we got new totals for who's going to see it along the I-95 corridor. On top of that, with the rain coming in and the storm threat, we know that there's a second threat coming in as we go deeper into next week that we'll have to look out for. That includes wind gusts because after a brief cool down, a sharp one I might add, it gets stormy again toward the end of next week with multiple thunderstorm chances. Hi everybody, I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Justice. Please let me know where in the world you're watching from right now and let's get this conversation going. Here's the very latest high resolution modeling. I want to show you that first to show you what's coming in over the next 24 hours. We've had tornadoes in Illinois and Indiana tonight. That has since subsided, and now that rough weather is simmering down. Now, that same front is going to push in Friday morning. You're going to hear some thunder in Tennessee, Kentucky, West Virginia, maybe even North Carolina, South Carolina. And look up here toward New York. There's going to be some snow forming here. Now, that is not the full system itself, although this is going to bring some snow toward Vermont, parts of New Hampshire into Maine. Quite a bit of snow, in fact, in upstate New York into Pennsylvania. But here we go. Look at these rain showers beginning to reform Friday night into Saturday. We've got to watch this because it looks like it could produce some heavy rainfall into Saturday morning. Now, that's important because some of the models have backed off on seeing quite a bit of rain on Saturday morning. Some have shown some heavier. In this case, there may in fact be some thunder. This is our high resolution model from the NAM. I want to show you the storm fuel with this because there's limited amounts. As we go into Friday, there's enough storm fuel here across northern Mississippi, northern Alabama, North Georgia here for some rumbles of thunder. Gusty winds probably at best, and then this pushes toward the south. You think, hey, we're done. But look what happens as we go into Friday night, Saturday morning, it kind of builds back toward the north. So South Georgia, basically Atlanta, low country of South Carolina, there could be enough fuel here for some thunderstorms in those locations. And when I look specifically at that, we're going to see some heavy rainfall. Now, precipitation is something we need. We just don't want thunderstorms. There are streaks here of half an inch to an inch, but generally we're talking less than a half an inch in most locations. We need a whole lot more rain than that, unfortunately, for some areas that are drought stricken. The new drought update came out today, and it is not pretty. In fact, my yard, if you think about the snow and ice that we've had recently, you would think that we are doing just fine, but many are lulled into thinking that we're okay, and that's kind of where you get a little bit dangerous in these type situations because if I look at the new drought update, you can see that across the southeast there's a lot of red showing up here. That is a level 4 extreme drought, and it takes a lot. We're talking 6 to 8 inches of rain just to catch up and be normal. We're not going to get that in one sitting. We're not even going to get that in 2 or 3 sittings. In fact, we're going into wildfire season, which is a season where we get storms and heavy intense rain, but not a lot of good, just soaking, long duration rain. You kind of hope for that in the wintertime. You get those low pressure systems that come in that are, packed with moisture, but, warm enough to be all rain. That's when you typically get your big soaking and we can catch up on a drought. But we have not had that this winter. It's been a very, very dry winter. So the fact that we're going into spring, when we get some thunderstorms here and there, that's what you kind of get. You don't get big soaking, long lasting 2 or 3 day things. So that's when wildfire season can begin to peak up. And Southeast is just parched right now. One of the worst droughts in Florida in 25 plus years is some of the data coming out of this latest update here from the drought monitor. So we need the rain. Let's look closer at what the pattern holds this week because some are going to hear some thunder and that's just not enough to give you good soaking rain. Here's a look at the latest lightning density. I do see us kind of flaring up these storms again on Saturday afternoon. This would be 2 o'clock. Most of Georgia, a lot of South Carolina, dealing with some lightning. Very electrical storms, I might add. This is separating some very warm, unstable air with some colder air to the north. So it could be making quite a bit of noise across Charleston, south and west into South Georgia, into Alabama as well. Now, this is going to start pushing off toward the south and east, and then we're kind of smooth sailing here. Now, let's look at the storm threats. Now, we've had those storms across Indiana and Ohio into Illinois. It's been a rough day. Those are going to subside as we go into the overnight hours. And tomorrow, for Friday, wherever you're watching this, there's going to be a level 1 risk for severe weather. North Mississippi, North Alabama, into North Georgia, but the ingredients just aren't there for a high threat. There is a less than 2% chance of tornadoes tomorrow with this activity. It's mainly just some gusty winds or maybe even some hail with this type environment. As we look closer, I'll get into that in just a minute. As we look closer at day 3, this will be Saturday. There's a chance for some storms here across South Carolina, Georgia, into Alabama, and the panhandle of Florida. Not a lot, but it's something we'll have to watch here. Let me show you the storm fuel and the heat. We are way above normal this weekend, but look what comes crashing in. I mean, it is about to be a harsh dose of reality Sunday into Monday as we're about to crash those temperatures back down. And this could mean quite a bit of cold air lasting a little longer than maybe we'd like. Monday, Tuesday at least. Wednesday looks to be a transition day. We're starting to get warmer again. And then by the end of next week, it looks like we're actually cooking again. We're seeing some warmer weather for Thursday, Friday, with another brief cool down going into next Friday, Saturday, before we kind of see another dose of winter try to come in those first few days of March. Got very confused as to what month it was just for a second there. All right, let's look at what this looks like, big picture here. So the storms have rolled out. They kind of roll back in Saturday morning. Saturday, first half of the day looks to be wet in some locations here across the South Carolina, Atlanta, Charlotte. But by midday, it's pushing out. And then some snow moves into western North Carolina. This is Great Lake enhanced. So parts of Indiana, Ohio, a quick dose of some snow, certainly in the equation here as we move into this time frame. So we'll watch that closely as far as where did that map go? Here it is. Totals are not high. I mean, parts of Indiana could get a quick half an inch to an inch, maybe 2 inches on the high side here going into this weekend. Parts of Ohio, 1 to 3 inches, and then western North Carolina, a dusting to maybe an inch. Ski country above 5,000 feet, maybe we squeeze out just a little bit more, 1 to 3 inches, certainly not out of the equation. But it certainly gets cold. You see those blues there, that's the 1 to 3 I'm talking about. Beech Mountain, Sugar Mountain, maybe Mars Hill gets an inch. And you get up here towards Swain County, we could get 4,500 feet and above, 1 to 3 inches. But you look at the I-95 corridor. The track of this low pressure system is everything. I mean, this is either boom or bust here for basically D.C., up through New York and Boston. This latest European model says boom. It's got 6 to 10 inches of snow, whereas earlier tracks have that low just a little bit farther out to sea, and it's more like 1 to 2, maybe 3 or 4. I mean, imagine being a meteorologist up there. I'd take the challenge because I love that kind of stuff, but boy, oh boy, talk about a make or break forecast when you're talking about that low of a track. Now, just to show you the way it's trended here, here's 12Z. That was the 1 to 3 inch track. Here's last night, 6Z, 1 to 3. Last night, 2 to 4. So, I mean, there's a lot riding on that track and where it goes and what it does. But let's go back to the overall forecast because I do want to show you the pattern going into March. Okay, and I'll leave you with this. We've got another system coming in with maybe some rumbles of thunder, some rain coming in Thursday and the Thursday afternoon. That pushes toward the south, and here we are Thursday night. We've got drier weather, and it doesn't look to cool down too much behind this system. Maybe a little bit, but not much, especially across the southeast. Now, going into Sunday, March 1st, things look pretty tame. Now, there have been hints of another little system trying to come in some form or fashion. The track of it is everything. Does it bring rain? Does it bring some mountain snow? Yes, at this point. Both are possible, but we're way out there in model land. But simply put, we stay active, which is good because we need the rain, we need the moisture. But does cold air sync up with it? Probably not. I think we're closing our door, our window on major snow chances. But, folks, when you look at the latest outlook, this is from the Climate Prediction Center, and I support this with everything that I'm seeing. We look to be above normal February 25th through March 1st. That'd be days 6 through 10. And when I look at the extended outlook, this is days 8 through 14. We're actually well above normal on that outlook as well. This goes all the way through March 5th. So not to say that you can't get colder days within there. You certainly can. And whenever you get those cold days, those are your opportunities to get some kind of action for snow or sleet or freezing rain. But it's just not as likely. Now, could we get a wet snow that's a novelty that gives the grass a little bit of a covering or a coating as well as the trees? It's possible, mainly in western North Carolina, north into the Midwest and Northeast would be the best call as of right now. Folks, I sure appreciate you being here. If you're new to the channel, please consider liking this video. Let me know in the comment section where in the world you're watching from. Subscribe and turn on those notifications. I do look at the comments. I love to see where you're watching from each day, and it makes my day to read them and know just who you are and where you're from and kind of what's on tap for your life. Folks, we'll do it again tomorrow. Stay safe. There are a lot of wild weather changes ahead. I promise to keep you up to date on them.